Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for Donald John Trump's Sunday, November 22nd. Okay, so I changed up the positions a little bit because I want to see more, instead of how he's feeling, I'm going to swap that out with whether he's successful or not. So we're going to get an overview of the forces in motion in his life, the challenges, what he's planning, what he's doing, his karma, successful or not, and his future. That's how it's going to go. Okay, so forces in motion. Okay, here we go. His challenges. What he's planning. What he's doing. His karma that he's been accruing and never stops. Let's see, successful or not as to his plans and actions. And then, of course, his future. Okay, and then I'll layer the Maybe Lenormand after. So this is the, for any new viewers, subscribers and viewers, I thank you for joining us. I love our community here. This is the Radiant Rider Waite, but I've trimmed it down so I can fit all the cards in the way I want. And then the little Lenormand deck that I'm going to use is this one, Maybe Lenormand by Ryan Edward. It's a little combo of the Lenormand and Gypsy cards, so you get 52 cards rather than 36. Okay, so the forces in motion for him, well, he's trying to gather all his strength. I've gotten this card reversed for him quite a while lately, so maybe he's feeling a little better this day. You know, whether or not he ever concedes, he may be in a little bit of acceptance inside. So there might be a little more of the taming of the beast. Now, this also could be that the forces that are in motion in his life, he doesn't really have control over, because this card, to me, I always read it as when you have complete control. Well, no, I don't know that we totally have complete control on Earth, but when you have a good amount of control over your life, it's because you're aware of any unconsciousness that's inside of you. So you're aware of your weaknesses, your faults, your strengths, and your areas that you need to work on. And because of that, then you can work with it, and it actually becomes an asset. And gradually, as you keep evolving, you become more and more conscious of who you are. All the good, bad, ugly, whatever. I don't think any of it's bad, or ugly, but when it's unconscious, then it controls your life. So this could be all of his unconsciousness that is controlling his life, and the Strength card could be indicative of forces that are really strong around him that he has no control over. So we'll see. His challenges with the Page of Cups reversed. Goodness. So of course this is like, earthly water. It's the energy and consciousness of offers and something sensitive that is being physically offered to you, either from the spiritual realm in the form of ideas and anything new, actually. But with him, it could be, an offer he doesn't want. It could be like the stinky fish in the cup. I mean, when it's reversed, it's a stinky fish. And the being his challenge, even if it was straight up, his challenge would still be, can he trust this offer that's coming in? Because the pages are not very mature yet. They're new, and they're learning. His challenge is that he doesn't learn from the past. He doesn't learn from his past mistakes. And he is emotionally about 13 years old still. I witness wounding within him that sometimes he's like a toddler and other times he's like a, teenager. So, I'm sure you guys could witness that yourself too. But goodness, with this the Page of Cups reversed, the challenge can be for him, can be, relationships that are leaving him. There can be some, disappointment. And like I said, it can be deceptive because, that could be a very stinky fish in that cup. And it can also be his insecurities, his own insecurities that he had, as a 13-year-old when he got sent away to military school. And he hasn't worked through that, I'm sure. Because if he had, he'd have a very different life, and he just didn't. So what he's planning, well, he's planning some type of new victory tour. With Jupiter and Leo, he's planning on being seen, being heard, being, the guy that gets all the attention. He's planning some victory. What he's doing, he's trying to get partners involved with oops, I'm sorry, I need to tell you guys these things. Okay, Strength card, because I've cut off the, the names. Like I said, Page of Cups. Okay, this one is the Six of Wands, and it's ruled by Jupiter and Leo. So expanding, your life force out into the world in a way that you're ready to be seen for your creative endeavors in the past and your accomplishments. And it can be, a lot of generous love where you bring other people with you, and it can be a beautiful card of, teamwork. But in his case, we can't trust anybody that's involved with him. Now, with the Lover's card, and it's, of course, Mercury and Gemini, or you could just call it a Gemini card, and he is a Gemini. But this is in the position, so this is planning. So he's planning to be recognized for his accomplishments, which they're all dark. His accomplishments in the past have been dark, dark, dark. Dirty, dirty money. Dirtbag Donnie. But what he's doing, this card's in the position of doing, he's trying to decide. He's trying to make some really important decisions. I mean, we have two major arcanas here, so these are gateways for his evolution. He needs to work on his inner strength in all the areas he's unconscious, and he also needs to make decisions based in love rather than just money. And he doesn't do that. So we can be sure that whoever he's trying to get to be on board with him, he's coming from the wrong. I doubt he's open to the angel up here. I think it's Archangel Gabriel. So the karma that's hanging over him with the world reversed, straight up, it's ruled by Saturn. It has to do with time and space. It has to do with accomplishments and coming full circle. And you're done with something. Something is wonderful in your life that you're done with, and you can move on and create anew. Or you're whole in some area of your soul substance. You're whole, like WHOLE. You're complete. You've done the best you can in some area of your life. Well, when it comes in reversed, it's pretty much the exact opposite. He's not done. He's not whole. He has not created the accomplishment he's looking for. And because this is karma, the karma card, that means that this could also be looked at as the future. He's not going to be seen the way he wants to be seen. It's an emptiness inside because of that lack of taming his inner beast is one of the key phrases for the Strength card. Other forces around him are stronger, and they've been waiting, and we've all been waiting. This card could be us in our inner strength, our inner strength. And what he has hanging over him is the fact that we see his lies. We see that he's empty and hollow inside. He doesn't get the closure that he wants either with this card. Yeah, he doesn't get that. It's also a card when the World card is reversed. It brings in the element of delay because you have to remember it's ruled by Saturn. So time and space, you know. It's not the universe card. Like in some decks it's a universe card, but it's the world card. It's ruled by Saturn. It's, you know, you don't get the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto with it. You get Saturn. It's done. This is it. And there's either a harmony or a disharmony. There's either a celebration or nothing to celebrate. There's either something's complete or reversed, it's incomplete. Like I said, I just feel it's more about, you know, the his own inner emptiness. Okay, and then the successful or not? Well, with the Knight of Cups, you know, there is the fire and water there. There is the cardinal energy of moving forward with an offer. So he does have some kind of an offer, but you know, this guy can be really dysfunctional if he's giving to get. He's not like the white knight, you know, that's coming to rescue you. He's codependent. He can be codependent. He can be trying, you know, giving to get, that type of energy. And Donald John Trump's future with the Seven of Cups, well, it's delusion, it's smoke screens, it's fantasy. You know, Venus and Scorpio, I don't know that he's going to deeply get what he needs. I don't know that there's going to be any transformation into any type of unity. You know, Scorpio, transformation, unity, Venus. That doesn't seem like him. So let's just leave that here. Let me layer the, well, actually, the way I've been doing it this way to get the Lenormand in. There we go. I think that fits. Yeah, I can go a little bit more this way. We seem to have a glare over here on this right side, so I apologize. But let's layer the Lenormand and see. So I'm going to do 2 cards for each position, and we're going to add some situational earthly realm information with the Lenormand. That's why I love this system. Okay, so forces in motion. Let's see, first, second. Okay, let's go this way. His challenges. What he's planning. What he's doing this day, November 22nd. His karma, the law of cause and effect in his life. How it's working. Whether he'll be successful or not. Successful or not. Okay, and his future. All right. Oh. Okay, so I think to leave the numbers visible might be a little better. I think it's easier to tell because some people read if you're very advanced, like in cartomancy, they'll read the little pip cards up here. The little, you know, the clubs, diamonds, spades, things like that. So I'll just remind which card is up here with the tarot. I think that'll give everybody what they want. Oops, wait, first card. second card. Sometimes the order matters. Not always, though, with the Lenormand. The Lenormand's very different with tarot in that what we're doing is we're putting together, like stringing together a sentence. A sentence or a phrase, like a meaning with a couple of cards. Or, or more. Like we could read all these across maybe and get a message too. In summary, but if I do that, the readings are they're so long. And the thing is, with him, we're pretty much just tracking patterns, and I'm doing these readings just so that we're protected, so that we can see what's coming up with him. And it's pretty much usually the same old, it's just about the money for him. But because he's in charge of the military and because he's so dirty, we really have to keep an eye on him. Okay, so I think everything's visible enough there. Yeah. Okay, I always want to leave a little room at the bottom for the closed captioning. So pardon my putts in here. Okay, all right, so with the cross card here, so forces in motion, there are forces stronger than him that are in charge, that are truly in charge, and they are a burden on him. There's a real burden on him. This is a very painful card. This card is all about guilt. The cross card in the Lenormand is about guilt and the need to take self-responsibility. It's literally our cross to bear. So he has abused his power. The Strength card is a very powerful card. He's abused his power, and now he's guilty of that. And so, of course, it's all about burden and painful. Could even you could say grieving, but he doesn't tend to grieve. He seems to just repress everything. But anyway, regardless whether he's grieving or not, this is a burden. The burden of the strength of the rest of the United States is way greater than him. And especially because we witness how he is always, seduced. What he's attracted to. With the Rose card, it has to do with seduction, attraction. And with him, it's just pretty much the money. It can be a card of like tenderness, but that's not him. So I have to go with the other, traditional meanings, which is just seduction. So he's burdened by all of his, how he's been seduced in the past, right? Like just seduced by money. And then his challenge up here with, of course, his 13-year-old wounding with the Page of Cups reversed, it has blocked him. And again, here's the card that could indicate, the Child card is all about new starts and small things, and it can be children. But I'm going to read it as that his biggest challenge is that he's still blocked by that 13-year-old that they got sent away to military school because his parents couldn't handle him, and so from that time forward, he obviously hasn't healed it. And when he got elected, Saturn was on his south node in that moon, and which actually he had that transit as well when he was 13. So when he got elected, it was like a reenactment of that time. That's why I didn't think he was going to make it in. But in that situation, it was, a lot of dirty strings that were pulled from Russia and other places, and so many people that just didn't like Hillary. And then we had Bernie, and as much as I love Bernie and the intention that he had, I feel like he really kind of shot himself in the foot by putting the word socialist mixed in with democracy. That scared a lot of people away. I mean, I knew what he meant. Of course I knew what he meant. He meant equality. But I just, I think that kind of ruined all that. So that got, Hillary in. And then, of course, there are so many people who just won't vote for a woman. And they didn't like her background. And even though she's been a public servant forever. So there was that. So anyway, he got in because of that. Saturn conjuncting his south node and moon in that transit that he had in, it was actually starting in 2015. But by the time the election came around, that Saturn had the effect of actually like cementing him, manifesting for him. So because he became president, he did not use the energy correctly with Saturn on his south node and moon. He should have used it to help clear out past life wounding and childhood wounding, current lifetime wounding. But he didn't do that. Instead, he became president and went on a power-hungry, course through his life. So here we are, and his challenge is still that obstacle of that emotional wounding that he, that's just the way it is. And you don't get to, move forward in your soul growth until you heal this wounding. So that's going to keep playing out. That's going to keep coming back towards him. Everything he does that we look at and we're horrified by, we can look at that and see that that's his 13-year-old, maybe 12, 13-year-old, and maybe his toddler inside. So he's in, emotional reaction, and that's his biggest challenge. Now, his karma, this card up here is planning, what he's planning. Okay, so with the planning to get more attention, because he craves it, he's making choices. The crossroad card is all about choices, but it's also alternative pathways. And the tree card is about health, but it's also about your family and your DNA. I think it's just what he's planning is to be recognized, and he's planning alternate means for he and his family to be recognized in a whole new way. What he's actually doing, he's trying to align with relationships. He's speaking with people so that they can, partner with him, or he's trying to get people to partner with him, and he's watching. He's watching, keeping an eye on either who's with me or who's not. This also has that element with the birds of stress, and can be sometimes a little bit of anxiety, but most of all it's connections, and then he's watching, like who's on my side and who's not. And I think that because he's a very vindictive person, he's like creating a list and taking names and someday planning on kicking some ass. Because that's how he rolls, and that's part of his karma too. And now we are in the karma section here, this row here. So remember with the world upside down, the world reversed, the meaning is, delays and his emptiness inside, his inner emptiness. Well, the karma that's hanging over him is for the world to see it, and for the world to see him lose. I mean, the world, if this were straight up, this could be, the world is us, but it's his emptiness, his empty victory, and the just all over the world. I don't think that this has to do with just the USA. I think the world is watching us, and they have heaved a huge sigh of relief in order to, they've witnessed us vote him out, and that's his loss. So that's the karma hanging over him, is that he needed public humiliation. Public humiliation. The mice card is always about it. It minimizes. It eats away at his pride over here, eats away at his ego, eats away at everything that he wanted. And he's going to be watching that. He's going to be observing that, and it's going to be bothering him. And I think he's going to be vindictive in the future, because that's who he is. We can always expect that, whether the cards show it or not. We can always expect that, because it's how he rolls. That's how he rolls through life. So this can also be, because of his karma, this can also be someone stealing from him. And this could be a network of anything, a networking group online that is stealing information from him. There's that possibility. The mice card is just all about, thievery, but they usually eat a little bit at a time, but then all of a sudden you turn around and it's gone, a big piece of cheese is gone. But it's also stressful, and this is stressful here. And then if we look at the cards that knight to this card, the lost card, we have his money, we have his plans, his choices in the future are minimized. And of course the delay up here. Yeah. Okay, so moving forward into this column is whether or not he's successful. Well, the Sun card in the Lenormand can definitely be success, but all he's successful at with the Lion card is about, his hot air, his just blathering on, his, I'm the best, no matter what it is, he's the best at everything. He's going to be the biggest loser is what he's going to be. I mean, he is. He already has lost. He already has lost, and I think Joe Biden's votes over him so far are at, I think it's like 6.5 million more than his. So Biden won more bigly over Trump than the popular vote than did Hillary. Hillary beat him in the popular vote. It was just the Electoral College where she messed up. She didn't go to the right states. She blew off a couple swing states. Or blew off the wrong counties in a couple of swing states, I should say. But anyway, so back to Dirtbag Donnie. Whether he's successful or not, this card also, the Sun card, besides being, sometimes it's successful, and sometimes the only thing it's successful at is revealing something, because it always shines the light, and it shines the light on the cards nearby. So we're going to see some revelations about his karma, his where he has been stealing from the public. We're going to see some of that. And we're also going to see his greediness, because this is the future. The way he's just so deluded by relationships and partnerships and commitments, contracts, anything to get the money. So with him, again, it's just always that follow the money. Following the money. But so the main message here, to summarize, I can see that it has to do with, it has everything to do with information coming out about dirty deeds in the past, and his guilt. Because here we go, forces in motion, how he was seduced by money. We can look at these, as bookends as well, right? Because forces in motion and then future. The forces in motion and the karma, they create the future. So we can see his guilt and how he was seduced by money, and then the people who partnered with him. It's good. They will be revealed as well in the future. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to move these aside, and I'm going to draw a couple of cards for us to see what is it that we need to know. What would help us? Sometimes life stings. Okay. But Spirit has our back. Okay, give me a moment here. So, yeah, wasps, aren't they the most painful? My goodness. Well, I don't, yeah, it doesn't feel good to go into this too much, other than to know that hopefully we recover from a wasp sting when things happen. You know what? I get it. Hold on. It doesn't really have anything to do with being stung. It has to do with, it has been a big sting. Wait a minute. Remember that movie, The Big Sting? Maybe it's something about that that's going to come through if we just watch and wait. Because the other messages here are Eagle Spirit has our back. Spirit has our back. You know, Great Spirit has our back. All we have to do is watch and wait. Wow. Okay. So watch, wait, that's observing. That's coming in from observing. Like our higher self that can just observe what's going on without us needing to react. I think what has stung has been the last 4 years and more. You know, it's been watching him run for president and then being horrified that he actually got in. But if we see the big picture, we know that this time is here so that we can correct issues, that we can create new laws, and we can correct issues that need to be put into place, laws that need to be put into place to take away executive privilege, executive power. And we need to hold firm, you know, we need to hold firm to the fact that as Americans, as citizens, you know, it's the Constitution that we go by. We don't go by all these people all these politicians. They are public servants. They're paid by our tax dollars, and in our good, you know, our good intentions and our higher consciousness. So when they have acted in unconscious ways and they've misused their power, and that stings us, we need to know that we can hold firm to the faith of the Constitution and keep going back to that as our document. That is the rule over the United States of America. Now, it's not perfect. There needed to be many amendments, and there may need to be many more, because, you know, it's over 200 years old. So there's that. But we're always evolving. And we can trust that. That's the one thing about the highest realms and the spiritual realms, is that we're always going back home. We are programmed, you know, like our code and our DNA is the universal life force in every cell in our body. And we are literally programmed to return back to the light, love, you know, the huge light and love that we are deep down inside. So whether we're headed in that direction intentionally or not, our spirit is guiding us in that direction. So we can trust that. We can always trust that. And then the rest of life is just, you know, it's on earth, it's never going to be perfect, but we can just keep holding on to our spirit and then being patient and waiting. But with that watching in there, I love that, you know, observing what's going on. But we have to really follow our intention. Stick with our highest intentions for love and inclusion and equality and justice, most of all. So, okay, well that's all I have for this first Sunday, and I'll be back later for his Monday. Okay, thanks you guys. Take good care.